Hello everyone and welcome to Behind the Scenes at the Edinburghs. Today we are editing some interview questions and today's topic was why Robin Hood? So when we think of the medieval period, we think of tales of chivalry, of sword fighting, of fighting monsters, of good v evil, tales that have really stood the test of time, tales that are hundreds of years old and that we still speak about. Beowulf, King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table, Guinevere, Lancelot, the tales of Robin Hood. So we have all these amazing stories that have survived all this time. But my question for Amber, the creator of Nottingham, was why was it specifically Robin Hood that inspired her?
Did I upset your plans? You've come to Nottingham once too often. When this is over, my friend, there'll be no need for me to come again.
So none of us get to choose the worlds that we're born into, and none of us ever have. And over the centuries, particularly in the 21st century, we are born into a world that is tinged with corruption and greed, and it's this timeless theme, and it's something that we can't escape. We don't get to make the rules, and the people who do make the rules don't live our lives, and they're not always the people that should be making the rules. And that's such a frustrating position and such a frustrating world to live in. And what Robin and the Merry Men have done is that they have run off into the woods and they have made their own rules. They have their own set of laws, and it's a set of laws that makes sense. They live in this forest that's balanced, and when they are taking the wealth and they're taking the riches, they're doing it from people who are hoarding the wealth and hoarding the power, and they're very specific with their strategy. And that's something you hear all the time nowadays. And people are like, I just want to, run away into the woods with my friends and live my own life. That's exactly what Robin Hood is, and that's exactly why the story is so timeless. But part of that is the fellowship and the community at the heart of that too. And that's why we call the show Nottingham rather than Robin Hood. It's not just about one specific hero. It's about the fellowship of the Merry Men and creating that environment and creating that world that they want so desperately to live in. So it's really the themes that have drawn me into the ballads because they are so relatable and so frustratingly timeless. The fact that hundreds of years later, we are still living in that world. And that's something that we address quite a bit in Nottingham, the timelessness and the relatability of that particular world. But yeah, Robin Hood as a character, he's also so fun and so cheeky. I think people think of these old medieval ballads as something that's quite dry, but if you go back and read them, they are funny and they're just such a fun read. But Robin Hood in particular is exactly the kind of cheeky character that you see in things like the Disney adaptation. Before he gets turned into this Hollywood like social justice warrior, he's just a mischief-making hooligan that lives in the woods. Like, that's exactly who he is. And it's exploded into this big world of Robin Hood, all these adaptations, these books, these films, novels and series. But he started as just a mischief-making hooligan that wanted to live by his own rules. And that's such a relatable character and such a relatable topic to where we are today.